What's good, everybody? It's your boy Almighty the Great here, back at it again with another video. And today we are reacting to He Stole the Only Thing I Love by, I think, Yo-Yo. Wait, hold on. I gotta make sure I got the right name. Never mind. It's by Young Don, the Souls God. Let's get straight into the video. But before we do, you already know what to do. Like the video, subscribe, hit that noti bell, comment down below to see what y'all want me to react to next, and let's get straight into it.
Started to go and investigate, started to climb up the hill, and at the very top of the hill was a small yellow house. I went up to the front grill and I started knocking on the metal bars separating me from the inside of the house. I knocked and knocked and knocked, thinking that Kevin was just...
Damn, sound like Kevin took your
I was mad living
and
with you. I
disappeared.
couldn't sleep naked.
Oh yeah? Sleep with the front door wide because we did this 2.5 at 11 and I'm about to go. My mom packed me and my little sister up in the car and drove 2.5 hours out to the country to visit my auntie Paulette. We did this almost every year when I was a kid, and I really enjoyed it because I was a city kid. In Kingston. The country was a very different place for me. In the country, you go to sleep with the front door wide open without worrying that someone was gonna break in. You spent all your time outside. Yeah,
you had mad space.
There was always more things to do outside than inside.
Yep.
And when you got hungry...
Facts. And the first time I learned how to ride a horse was because of my grandfather. And bro, that shit was not fun, bro. That shit was not fun. That shit was not fun.
All you had to do was look around and there would be some kind of fruit tree.
I'm still not good at how to ride. I'm still not good at riding horses. Pause. But bro, it was just a good quality time with my grandpa.
That you could go and pick fresh fruit from. But the thing I like most about the country were the people. People from the country live a simpler life, an honest life. Something about the city just makes people slimy and grimy, It's a cutthroat pace of life. But in the country, it's just good food, good people, and
good time.
So after a long, bumpy drive to the country, my mom finally pulls up in my auntie's driveway at the top of a hill at the end of a long, windy dirt road. It was a big white single-story house with a red shingled roof. She had a big front yard with a pumpkin patch, and there was always this dog that would sit in the front yard and stare at you. This was not my auntie's dog. Nobody knew where the dog came from. It just came and went as it pleased. Still, my auntie would feed the dog. Why? Because that's just what people from the country do. They're all just good people, Or at least, that's what I thought. But as much as I love going to visit my auntie in the country, I never liked staying there too long because...
You get bored.
Wasn't much there for a kid to do. And at the time, my auntie didn't have cable television, so it's not like I could watch the TV shows that I liked. This was also before Wi-Fi was a commonplace thing, so no internet. And even if there was, YouTube, Netflix, none of these things were invented as yet. And worst of all, besides my sister, I ain't have no one my age to play with, So 3 days. That's about how long I would last before I started trying to befriend the dog outside.
I'm weak.
I named Fred. Why? Because he looked like a Fred. Duh. But this summer would be different. I was not going to be subjected to a week of boredom. But instead, my heart would be broken. And I was going to have my first true taste of betrayal. So one day, I was sitting on the steps at the front of the house, very bored, when I saw another kid my age walking past the front gate. At first, I wasn't going to say anything, but I couldn't let an opportunity like this pass.
Facts.
I ran out to the road and I yelled out to him, "Yo! Hey!" He stopped and turned around. Hey! You live around here?
Yeah, I live up there.
That's hella weird, bro.
Hey, you wanna play a game or something?
Okay, yeah. Let me ask my mom first.
Okay. Can I come?
I guess.
That's hella weird, bro.
I should probably ask my mom first. Can you wait?
I'm gonna come back.
Yo, why you being hella weird, Don? Like, bro. How you say can I come and then you say you gotta ask your mom, bro? Like, make up your mind, bro. I'm weak though. That's hilarious.
Let me just tell my mom I'm gonna be down here.
Yeah, all right. Okay. And off he went. I grabbed the football that was sitting in the front of the yard and sat on the stairs and waited. Sure enough, eventually, this kid came running down the hill. His name was Kevin, and Kevin was my new friend. And we played all day long. He showed me the different hiking trails around the area.
Hey.
He even ate dinner with us. And at the end of the day, Kevin went back home and I went inside. And for the first time, instead of worrying about how I was gonna pass the time, I worried about the day that I would have to leave my new friend from the country that I would probably never see
Again.
The next day, Kevin came back down to play, but this time, he brought his Game Boy SP. I had told him the day before that if he brought his game, we could play video games together. He only had one game, Kirby and the Amazing Mirror. Of course, he had already beaten it twice over, so I told him that he could borrow one of my games. I mean, this was my new best friend. I opened my little pouch that I kept all of my video game cartridges in. I had like 6 or 7, and I told him that he could borrow any game that he would like, except for my Pokemon Emerald. That was my favorite game at the time, and I was very protective over it. He picked a game, and we started
That's
to
a
play.
fact,
And here
bro.
we were, two boys that...
Bro, I love Pokemon. Matter of fact, bro, I don't know if y'all gonna be able to see it. But your boy low-key playing Pokemon Sword and Shield. Ooh. Oh, that shit bright as hell. Never mind. I can't see it. But just know your boy's playing Pokemon Sword and Shield, bro. It's hella fun.
barely knew each other, not saying a single word, playing completely different games, all the while still greatly enjoying each other's company. Do girls have anything like that? I wonder. Eventually, we probably switch back to playing soccer or spend time throwing small rocks at bigger rocks. Who knows?
That's crazy,
We were
bro.
just boys being boys. The third day wasn't much different from the last. Kevin came down the hill, we played some video games, we played some football, and when the sun started to go down, Kevin had to go home. But this time, Kevin did something new. He asked me for a favor. Like I said, Kevin only had one game, Kirby and the Amazing Mirror. On the third day, he asked me if he could borrow some of my games overnight. He had never played any of the games I had, and he wanted to try some of them out before I left. At first, I wasn't sure, because these games were the most valuable things that I had. But he said he would leave his Kirby game as some form of insurance, and I was interested in seeing what this whole Kirby thing was about. I told him he could borrow any 3 games that he would like. He chose Sonic Advance, The Legend of Zelda, and my Pokemon Emerald. And
no,
at first, I was hesitant about lending him my
Pokemon, bro. Pokemon, bro, it's gone. It's gone. It's gone.
Pokemon game.
It's
But
gone.
I had beaten the game a while ago, and I wasn't playing it much. Worst case scenario, he was gonna start over the game, which I was already close to doing anyway. Plus, Kevin was an honest, good country boy. I mean, he meant no harm. So, after thinking it over, I let him borrow all 3 games. I remember going to bed that night and playing Kirby and the Amazing Mirror. I'd never heard the name Kirby before this game. I liked Kirby. The next day, just like the 3 days before, around 11 a.m., I went and sat outside, waiting on Kevin to come down the hill. 1 hour passed, 2 hours passed. Before you knew it, it was the middle of the afternoon. Still no Kevin. Now I was starting to get worried because this dude had my Pokemon Emerald, and I wasn't about to let him borrow it for 2 nights in a row. Eventually, I decided to go and investigate, you know? started to climb up the hill, and at the very top of the hill was a small yellow house. I went up to the front grill and I started knocking on the metal bars separating me from the inside of the house. I knocked and knocked and knocked.
You know what he did, bro?
Only the Avatar.
Master of four
Four
elements.
could stop them. But when the
World needed him most.
he vanished.
Nigga disappeared on you, boy.
My name is
Nigga disappeared on you, boy.
Thinking that Kevin was just somewhere inside, fully consumed with playing his new games. I mean, could I really blame him? Eventually, the front door to the house opened, and out came an older woman who looked very annoyed. Excuse me, little boy. Can you tell me why you bang pa my gate? Oh, I'm sorry. Is Kevin home? Oh, okay. You're Kevin's friend. No, baby. Kevin went back home. Back home? What do you mean? Doesn't he live here? Oh, no, baby. He was just visiting for the week. What? He was just visiting for the week. He left this morning. Him never tell him was leaving. Never tell him was leaving. Never tell him was leaving. Immediately it started sinking. Kevin was gone, and he took all of my games with him, including
Pokemon.
I had been finessed, betrayed, and of course, I wanted to be mad. But to be honest, this was the same Pokemon game that I had stolen from this other kid. That was one of the very first stories I told on this
weak.
channel.
So you
in a
finessed
way,
and you got finessed.
kind of had it coming.
So
And
basically,
even though I felt like
he finessed the finesser, bro. Damn, that's tough. That's
Bro
tough.
did me dirty. He did save me from being bored out of my mind for a few days, and he left me a new game that ended up being really fun to play. Moral of the story: be careful who you trust, and remember, appearances can be deceiving, because the only difference between a saint and a sinner is a good reason. Every night she been working overtime.
Oh man, son, he finessed the finesser, bro. That's hilarious. Nigga hit you with that. I'm confused. Alright, bro, but we gonna end the video right here, son. That shit was hilarious. That shit was hilarious.